This week on IFBBAMA podcast, let's be honest, midsection used to be something that they trained very frequently back in the 90s during Milos era. And then it felt like people got away from it completely. And then now people are emphasizing it again because your midsection is like, it's the core of the physique, right? It completes it.
I have very blocky abs. Sometimes it may look like I'm bloated, but I'm not bloated. My abs are just full and just bursting and popping. That can translate on stage to like I have a gut or something, or I look bloated, and that's not the case at all.
Abs are the muscle that you want to close it in. Try to contract in and glue to the spine. Honey Rainbow said to Samson after he won Arnold's, a very interesting thing, put the belly button in. I always say glue your stomach to the spine. Think of belly button, you want to like nail it in. Like...
All right, look on the podcast today. We got Keone. What's up, man? Congratulations on another win.
Thank you. Thank you. Texas Pro this time.
Yeah, dude. You look bonkers, man. That's the first time I've seen you in person compete.
I see Keone compete live, several times. So, for me, it's nothing new. But go ahead, because you just finished Texas. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Milos. Go ahead. Keep talking. I'm listening.
I do want to say this, of course, since I saw you working with the flex filler in the beginning, and you're the prodigy, and I mean it's God-given structure, the shape, the size, everything. And I know you were playing with the classic physique 212 and all that stuff, right? So for me, you have, if it would be classic bodybuilding in sense like they're really looking for a bodybuilder lookalikes in this physique, then maybe I would tell you, if you can squeak in, go there. But classic physique stands for different. It's more structure. So you would be probably always looked at the bodybuilder in the classic, which wouldn't work. So you are definitely at the 212. And I was even thinking you could have jumped into the open the way you look. So God-given structure, thickness, width, shape, size, and now the conditioning is coming in. Separation is crazy. So I see you as a top threat for the Olympia title.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that compliment. That means a lot coming for you. I know you don't bullshit and just tell people things, so that means a lot. Thank you, Milos.
Yeah, I mean it because look, we all love and respect Sean Clarida, right? I mean, how can you not? We love him. But he is smaller and narrow, right? So he can be exploited if, you go... This is just like a fight. You're going into the octagon and you're a striker against a submission artist, right? You're going to play to your strengths. Now, on the bodybuilding stage, yeah, you have to play to your strengths. What is? You have to overwhelm him with a width. All the poses that this is clearly visible, you emphasize that, right? But the shape there's now and then the quality that you have, the thickness, you look to me like you could have jumped in next day in a Texas Open. Chris, why do you think? I'm convinced Keone would make top 5 and possibly top 3. Third place.
What I did like you said, Milos, which is good definition of his physique. It's like it's not classic; it's classic bodybuilding, right? Where the shape is very much there and much better than most people in the 212, but he's got the round, bubbly look. So it's really defined as that classic bodybuilding. 100%. I totally agree with classic physique standards today. But Keone, I was impressed, man. I've always been pretty impressed with your physique and, how far you've come along and the distance you have. But seeing it in person, when that was the top call out, I was just like, oh, that's easily Keone winning that. I really didn't see, my eyes just kept going to your physique, going through all the poses. Sometimes, when you're into bodybuilding and you're watching a top group, it's like when your eyes keep being drawn to one person only, it's just like, that's obviously a clear winner, because sometimes without even assessing in your own mind, okay, looking carefully, if your eyes are kept going to that person, it's just like, boom. But my question for you, dude, is this preparation for this show, because you worked with Patrick, yeah. And did you work with Patrick the last show too, or just this one?
It was I got with Patrick when I was about 6 weeks out from Tampa Pro, And then I did the Olympia with Patrick and this show too.
Gotcha. Okay. So like now that he's like been learning your physique and more or not, did you guys end up changing some things, or was just kind of like, we're going to continue this route now that we have adequate time together?
We changed a lot. So Tampa, I got him 6 weeks out after I left my coach, David. And he was still just trying to learn my body, obviously. He told me he usually don't take people in the middle of the preps, usually. Yeah. Sometimes that can be a disaster. You know, you don't really know how you're going to go because you don't know the person's body. So Patrick didn't know how big I was. He didn't think I was that big. He didn't know I had that type of quality, you know, muscle and thickness on me. So he filled me a lot for Tampa Pro. So I was pretty full. Like, I looked like I could have done open. I was huge. I did lose a little bit of condition with that show. So we realized, okay, we don't need that much food to fill me out. I have very round muscle belly. So for me, it doesn't take much for me to fill out. And another thing, I have to watch out for my stomach. You know, I have very blocky abs. And when my body fill out, my abs fill out. So sometimes it may look like I'm bloated, but I'm not bloated. My abs are just full and just bursting and popping. And sometimes that can translate on stage to like I have a gut or something, or I look bloated. And that's not the case at all when I go through my transition. So for the Olympia, we backed down a lot on the food as far as going into the show. And my stomach was pretty flat, very, very tight. And I think we pretty nailed that. And then in the 8 months, I switched up a lot of my training style. I slowed down a lot. I stopped training so wild. I stopped banging the weight. I focused more just on the contraction and the squeezes and slowing everything down. And I needed to focus a lot on my posterior chain, my legs, my back, my glutes. And we brought up pretty much all of that for this show. And I think that's what was the huge difference between Olympia and this was just the quality tissue, my training. And as far as diet-wise, we definitely pushed the diet a lot harder, for sure. So that was the huge difference of this prep.
I tell you this, the video that you have walking, and you can see that your glutes are firing as you're walking. Like maybe a couple of weeks ago, right? Yeah. So,
yeah, that video.
This is like really visible, like his ass was striated as he's trying. And then today, I've seen him do the hip thrust with like 5-6 plates. So you do that strictly glute work?
Yeah, I usually do 2 exercises for glutes, so then the rest would be like hamstrings. But the thing was, I think the reason why my glutes responded so well, I never trained glutes until this year.
Girls know how to train glutes.
Yeah, they do everything. I refuse to do those hip thrusts. I said, like, you will never ever see me do that thing because it's not manly exercise. But then
it's very effective though, and I felt like, you know, I truly preach it that helped me, you know, really put the size on my glutes for sure. And I don't think it's gonna work for everybody, but for me it did. And so I just stick to it now since I've been doing it. I've been doing it for a year and I love it.
No question about it. But okay, so Keone, as you said, that I never bullshit people, and I always maybe go extra step and say things that I maybe shouldn't even. But I'm very deeply analytical. So when I looked at you initially, right, I said, oh, this is the best structure possible. V-taper, sweeping thighs, shoulders, thickness, everything is there, right? And what you said about stomach, maybe at certain shows, you had a flaw. But then I say you have a little bit, that linea alba is spread, so you have a little bit gap. But there is the way. If you see Pumping Iron when, what's his name, Serge Nubret was moving the abs in, right? I was doing this with Regan the other day. I said, okay, now how you have abs? Now try to move them in. You know, practice, you know, moving it closer. You know how every muscle, like lats, you want to push all the way out. So it's like, well, abs is completely different. So now abs are the muscle that you want to close it in. So try to contract in and glue to the spine. The Honey Rambo said to Samson after he won Arnold's, a very interesting thing. He goes, you know, pull the belly button in. Like, I never heard that. I always say glue your stomach to the spine, but you know, when I was thinking like that suggestion really of think of belly button, you want to like nail it in, like so. not vacuum for the second. You do the great vacuum, but vacuum with a contraction. If you practice this, so muscle is like this, you want it to close in. Muscle is like this, right? And you have that gap. Okay, now try to close the gap. It's possible. And what you're going to get with this also, you're going to get even smaller waist. It's just, you probably never did it. You know, you just didn't, maybe come as an idea. But trust me, it's very possible if you practice it. Because if you have that, you have a flawless physique. You have a absolute, right now, if I can say, where is Keone not perfect? Abs in some poses, like you said, it's not bad, but, in some poses, it's not ideal. With the abs, I'm going to make that statement, you're untouchable. With the condition, with that size and that shape, you would be untouchable. Yeah.
Keone, how close are you to the weight cutoff?
I was 213 this morning. So at Texas, I was 203, and at Olympia, I was 200.
Oh, so you got some room to play. Oh my Lord.
Yes.
Milos, another 5-6 pounds of muscle in the right areas with that abs. And then what Keone described as keeping his stomach tight and controlled. Oh my Lord.
Yeah. So I like my first actually true off season, I really felt like was with Patrick, and we only got up to 223, but my 223 looks like a 240 if you saw me in person. Because like our thing was, we got to make sure my midsection stays in check as I'm eating this food. My food was high, but it wasn't, I guess, extremely high compared to other people would eat in the off season. I still kept my cardio in and everything as well, and stayed pretty lean. So yeah, I guess what my thing is, I don't really have to get too big in the improvement season to really put on tissue. I feel like sometimes I look at weights, I just start growing. I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah. One of those lucky ones. Right?
Now you're training, which is, I'm always so interested in this because Milos and I always have this discussion with slow contractions, driving that weight to get direct tension to the area you're targeting, pumping that muscle up. Now, did you inadvertently change your own training, or was your coach being like, hey man, like, why don't we try slowing some things down a little bit? Or was there an injury? Like, what was the light switch where you're like, I'm going to start trying to take a little better, different approach here?
Well, during Olympia, as was like reevaluating my physique and everything and what I needed to bring up, I know Tyler and them wanted more thickness on my back and just more overall development on my whole backside, hamstrings and glutes. And my girlfriend, she's an online trainer. She's very smart in training. She's been training way before I started bodybuilding. So we just reevaluated, and she actually created me a whole entire program from the health phase after the Olympia all the way till now. She controls my training, and a lot of it was just, like I said, slow contracting and squeezing. And like I said before, I was using so much different other muscle groups. Like when I do chest, my shoulders would be more pumped than my chest. Like when I do flies, I will always cave in. Now I'm using way more of my upper chest. Even my back, I would do back and my arms would be so pumped. I don't feel nothing from the back. Now I'm actually getting that contraction from my back and actually be able to focus on what I need to do. And so she just laid it all on the paper and I just literally follow to the T. She trains me every day. And that's like the hugest thing that, that was the biggest difference in my training. And so I love it now. I can't even go back to that type of training style, to be honest with you. I trained with Branch in Sweden before the Texas Pro Prep, and goddamn, we flew like 12 hours, and we got there, and Branch was like, "We're going to the gym." I was like, "I'm dehydrated. I've been eating airplane food. I'm tired. It's late." He was like, "I don't care. We're going to train. I got to train." I was like, all right. We train shoulders. He got them damn 80, 90-pound dumbbells. Got me doing it, yelling at me. I was like, oh, my God, I do not miss this type of training. It hurt. It hurt. Every bit of it hurt. The whole week hurt when I trained with him. I was like, damn. I was like, I can't believe I trained like that. And there's nothing wrong. I'm nothing against Branch. Like, I love him. And that training worked great for him. But now, once I switched it up and I just tried to go back to that type of training style, I just wasn't feeling it.
It's more fun when you feel the muscle. Like it's more fun when you're like go to the gym and you're like rep quality. You can feel the muscles, as Milo says, you can feel the muscles contracting and stretching.
Yeah.
You can feel that versus like, oh, my shoulder's bothering me, shit, or my elbow, you know? Like,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
This kind of training is okay. 30% on the muscle, 30% on the tendon, 30% on the ligament, this kind of stuff, right? So you want 100% on the muscle. So I'm actually surprised because when I look at your body and muscles, I would think that you have that ultimate control.
Yeah, right. The good connection.
He looks like that. So I'm glad now that you said. But I would boil down this whole training into as soon as you start any particular muscle, chest, shoulders, arm, first rep, immediately find a range where you can really isolate and feel the muscle. So when does it start burning? Okay, and then whatever it burns, you keep in that range for a while. Okay, here I can really feel. And now when you feel a contraction of a muscle, okay, now let me stretch a little bit more. And then you go into the full movement and you feel the muscle contracted all the time. Because I would lie if I say otherwise. Of course, when I start training, we didn't have in Yugoslavia any information about training, right? You go there and you just like do some stupid lifts, and then next day, whatever you are sore, oh, that was for that. Okay. but really, the range of motion, I was doing like some range, you feel it a little bit, and then you get completely out of it, right?
yeah.
So you do the movement for the sake of, oh yeah, that looks good. This is how I see the video on the YouTube. This is instructional, right? And you keep doing it, but there's only maybe 1 inch of the move that you feel, and the rest is just like empty. So yeah, I'm glad if you found a way to constantly put the load on the muscle.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge difference, especially for me. Like my girlfriend's telling me at this point, even Patrick, at this point, it's just detail for me. Like just little areas to really trying to build that perfect Mr. Olympia physique. And that's what we've been doing. And as far as, my training style back in the day or back then, my body just responds to any type of training. So like you said, you looked at me, you thought I was always training like this, but I haven't, my body just responds to anything really. And likely I never got really injured. So I'm glad that, we're good now.
Milos, you know what that is? He's had straight newbie gains this entire time. And now we're about to tap into like uncharted territory. Keone, your girlfriend is Amanda, right?
Yes.
I think I got it right. You can't even see it.
Yep.
Damn thing. For those of you listening, if you guys want to check her out, her Instagram is HAPARICAN. Amanda.
Yeah. If you guys need training as watching this, guys, hit up my girl Amanda for actually, programming your training to get you right. I promise you.
That's so impressive, honestly. Like, I know she's a competitor herself, but like,
yeah,
I rarely ever, nothing against females, I rarely ever hear females mastering execution of movements and being able to imply that and teach that, right? So like hearing you talk about what she showed you is extremely impressive. That's really impressive.
Yeah, man, you'd be surprised.
I'm sure. Yeah. Let me tell you, with my old upbringing, I would think back in Yugoslavia, I cannot lose in anything to the woman, right? Like there's no way. And then, I started running with some girls and they just smoked me. And then he started doing some wrestling with the girls, and they threw me like a rag doll, like, oh shit. Then I went, I said, okay, listen, I'm going to lift weights. So there was the shot putter champion in Yugoslavia. She was warming up with my maximum squat. I mean, it was ridiculous. Yeah. So, and then now, I'm just talking about Amanda probably. Amanda probably mastered the movement and kinesiology and everything, so she can really pass by and you're not intimidated. With the other guy, we always have like maybe a little bit competition, and I don't want to really listen, but I'm sure you have no reason, to doubt Amanda, right? She comes as a girlfriend, as an experienced coach, and every single rep that she's going to monitor is point on point.
Yeah, that's how it is. When we're in the gym, it's straight coach mode. It's like lovey-dovey, and as soon as we walk in the gym, it's like, all right, this is what the hell you need to do right here.
Yeah.
It's like boom, boom, boom. As soon as we leave, we back lovey-dovey again. That's
Good.
just
I
what
like
it
it. I
is.
like that though. That's
Yeah,
a good coach. That's a good coach.
Yeah,
There's not a lot
for
of people
sure.
that are able to do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. But one thing that Chris, you mentioned, and I think Keone kind of, what I'm seeing with the Samson, what I'm seeing with some, when you start improving, right? You don't know how much further you can just keep improving and improving and improving. So I told that Samson just the other day. I mean, everything is going beautifully, okay? So he's surprised how he's looking great. But I said, like, look, you're going in that uncharted territory. You're doing everything right, and every workout, every meal is paying dividends. So you're just getting better. And that's what I'm projecting with the Keone. I mean, imagine at this pace now he is just getting better and bigger and more refined and more polished and more separated. I mean, that's going to be deadly. I don't know if you did this, Keone, and I suggest you do. I really visualize what I want my physique to look like. I had a crystal clear image. You know, I had the shitty arms, I had the shitty this. So it's okay, I would need to improve shoulder width, thickness here. And I built myself into, in 1997, I've seen that physique in the mirror, right? So you have to first visualize, your structure, your shape, and now you want maybe, like you're saying, abs, a little bit close gap and deeply chiseled with waist in. I don't know if Tyler Mannion told you that you need to still work on a crazy back. Maybe, I don't know. I think your back is very, very good, but you know how it is. Back can never be too big. Back can never be too muscular. So these kind of improvements, but you have to see it first in your head. Exactly what you want your physique to look like, visualize it, and hopefully, prejudging of Olympia is going to be on the stage.
Yeah, I agree. That's kind of what I visualize. I always visualize like me waking, like you have that fasted stomach look, just super flat. That's what I want on stage. That's the whole goal. That's what we want. And everything just bursting full. And it's funny that you said about the back. He told me I need to work on my back some more. He said I need to work on more thickness. At first at Olympia, it was width, and now it's the thickness. I guess I got so wide, I don't know, I guess need more thickness. So now we're working on thickness on the back. So
all I see now is how old are you? 26, 27?
28.
28. 28 years old, not any injuries currently, motivated, has genetics, and has resources, and just started a new form of training that's working. Like, you can't have a plethora of things work together so well in a positive way. Like, most people are always hindered by lack of resources or injury,
right,
or not to have the drive, or they don't have the genetics. And now you're combining all those together. So it's going to be super exciting. I'm not sure if I'll make it to Olympia this year, but we're going to call it in the last second.
What do you mean, man?
I have so much travel going on, Milos.
It's Mr. Olympia once a year. Damn, you got to do it.
I'm thinking about going to Arnold, UK.
Oh.
You can go there, but Chris, you have to be at Olympia. I mean, seriously, start checking off and considering. It's a once a year pinnacle of the sport. You gotta be there, man.
And it's
Florida. This is Olympia, man. It's funny how we always say this year is going to be better than next year. Every year is going to be better, but this year's going to be crazy.
Yeah. I mean, we had a Carrot Baggio twice here, and I love Carrot, and I know that you battled with him, and he's going to be a great competition, right? When you look structure, and this is everybody. I love Sean Clarida. I think that pound for pound and all this stuff, crazy conditioning, always like, how do you lose? When you're like this, but then you can lose on a width from the front relax, front lat spread, back lat spread. There are many poses that, okay, here it is. So if you listen to Tyler Mannion's description of each pose, while you're looking, it's very much repeated X-frame V-taper, wide shoulders, small waist. So that's what you have going for you. And that's what I see that you guys, maybe have advantage over Sean. Sean is just crazy dense, compact, and has that little extra hardness, maybe that, you still don't have. So you can assume that maybe he's going to get you somewhere, but you just have to compromise in the sense that you bring the best possible package and you know your strengths. That's why I said like 10 minutes ago, when you go and compete, you explore his weakness and your strength.
Right,
and
right,
if
right.
you're master of that, you can do it.
That's pretty much how I'm approaching this prep, is that I just have to focus on my strengths that, and maybe his weaknesses. And I know that I do have a very different structure from a lot of people from 212. I'm coming from classic. So yeah, just got to play my game at this point. Just play my game and just polish everything else and let the cards fall in its place.
And it's not your posing, and your posing is fabulous. Go ahead, Chris.
Milos, there's a lot of parallels with Derek Lunsford and him as a 212, because think about when Derek's shape, right, at the time was the best in the class, but he couldn't quite nail that grainy hardness, right? And all of a sudden he did, and it was lights out. It's like Keone is moving in that direction and came in great condition, shape, the stomach, and arguably I think he has the best shape in that lineup in the 212, like the structure wise. And then all of a sudden you just go a little bit further, and then that's it, because you can't change your shape or your structure. You know what I mean? You can create more, exacerbate your shape as it is and make slight improvements, but your structure is your structure.
Yeah.
So I would say, so if you look from the aspect of X frame and V taper and wide shoulder, the clavicles, and Keone is probably the best in category. You have a Angel Calderon, okay, runner-up, who is also very wide and all that. It doesn't have your shape. And, so you can imagine he's going to come rock hard, dance and condition. Yeah. But your shape could possibly carry you to beat pretty much every pose of his. That's how I look at it. If you don't just look through that first superficial first impression, oh, he's better. Okay. He's better. Why is he better? Okay. Let's now look. You see wider, more X frame, there's that 2D, and then 3D look. I always say that shut the lights, look at the structure. And really, it's almost, of course, they're never going to do it. But if you shut the lights and look at the structure, front relax, that's when you can really see. Okay, now, wide shoulders, small waist. If you shut the lights, that's two-dimensional. And then, oh, this structure is obviously better, So then you turn the lights. Now you look again, structure with conditioning. Oh, 3D look, and now you see the density and shape and thickness. And your structure in a 2D, it beats everybody. I claim this right now, and I would challenge anybody, okay, take a picture of Keone and anybody else and darken, and just see the shape. It's devastating. I think that's your calling.
Do you guys feel that, I could be wrong, at the Texas Pro they're putting more emphasis on quarter turns as a real part of the scoring? Because I thought that they had a little more time with the quarter turns than normal. And then when I thought about that, I immediately thought about you, Milos, when we had the discussion of we have different rounds. We need to look at balance and symmetry outside of muscularity, not just these mandatory poses. Am I just seeing shit, or did you think that they were emphasizing that more?
We did hold quarter turns a little bit longer than usual. I will agree. I have the video. I remember just doing my side quarter turn. And it's usually, sometimes it'd be like quarter turn to the right, quarter turn. Now we actually hold it.
Yeah.
So, I love it. Yeah. I mean, listen, that's like so important. I always said that for me, the most important pose is front relax. Look good standing there. Okay, this is how you start. Well, back in the day, it was, okay, look good, relax on the side, on the back. So it was considered before. I'm glad if that's what they're doing, really. Even though when I was arguing with Bob Cicrilla, he said, okay, come on, Milos, find me some lights out, crazy, comparison in a, relaxed pose. And then I sent him like 10 of them, Flex, Ronnie, and Kevin, the front your legs, side your legs, back your legs. Those pictures are crazy. You want to analyze them in depth, right? So that's bodybuilding too. I don't know if you've seen Keone. For me, you are hashtag bodybuilding all the way. I keep saying this, hashtag bodybuilding. Let's bring back the beauty of bodybuilding. Shape, structure, yeah. The enormous size, if it's shapely, nobody's going to ever complain. I complain in enormous size that is not shapely. You know?
Right.
Then you're losing the point. So let's keep it hashtag bodybuilding.
I agree. I got a question for you guys. I just wanted to ask, do you feel like they would get a do you feel like we would get a better look if we did our individuals and they just call out the poses like how they used to do back in the day?
I liked it that way. I liked it that way.
I feel like you just get a better look.
Yeah.
Wait, you liked it which way?
Like
it's called front double biceps. And then you hit it, and then you say a lat spread. And then side. That's how it was in old days. You said, yeah. And now they give you like, what, 1 minute, and you can do, all this.
Whatever you want to do, your own poses. Yeah. I feel like we should hit the poses the judges want. That way they can really like see what they're looking for. Like,
Initially, right, that they gave you 1 minute, and in this 1 minute, you have to do all the mandatory poses, but you can throw in something else. There was a couple of shows that I was approached by the judge, and my athlete didn't do all the 8 mandatory poses.
Right.
He did, a bunch of. So there was in the rules before they called the pose by pose. Now you have to do it in 1 minute, and you can throw something in. And how Bob Chikirilla now explains, you can do 10 times most muscular for all he wants, right? You don't have to do all the mandatories. That's pointless. If I give you this, okay, you can do whatever. No, you should do the mandatory, because mandatory poses are being judged. And then in the posing round, okay, now you can bring the beauty of your physique, hitting all the other poses and positions, and get another points. That's why I'm still going to always insist. The biggest mistake was taking out symmetry round and muscularity round, and opposing round. I swear, it's like you are the kid in a school, and now it's like, you know what? Don't do the homework. When I tell you don't practice posing, you just need to do those 8 mandatories. Nice. Don't practice posing. So, are you gonna bring some beautiful routine for the audience and for the sport? There's a camera they're going to put on TV and look at, this is bodybuilding. And then you see Lila Brada, posing routine. I mean, Keone, I've seen, one of your posing routines, and I was super impressed. You had a sense of the movement and positioning and the flow. And, a lot of people would try to do dramatic poses, but they don't connect it. It doesn't make sense. This pose doesn't go after that pose. Don't do that. So you go to the side, turn to the other, up, down, in, out.
Just got to find what fits you best. I mean, honestly, ever since when Flex was coaching me, he would kick my ass in posing. Honestly, it never left me ever since. And, he really taught me how to like pose and hit a pose every other beat. Some people like to catch the beat. They go so fast, they can't even hit the pose, but you want to pose every other beat so you can catch that second beat versus the first beat. That's what I learned a lot with posing, and do posing that fits your physique, that makes sense. A lot of people try to do, like a lot of these big bodybuilders try to do classic poses and they don't look right at all.
Yeah.
Don't do that. There's a lot of big bodybuilders go do ground poses and it don't look good. Just do it, fits your physique.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is weird that you can exclude all the poses. Like, you can exclude a lot, because I remember that too. And to be honest with you, like, I don't even know how much merit. I could be totally wrong, but how many people that I've helped compete over the last 10 years at national shows who tell me, oh, when I was doing my individual routine, no judge was looking at me. Like, even guys who placed top 2, the judges weren't even looking. They weren't even watching in the individual routine. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I don't know. But I agree. I think it should be what they need to see as an individual poses
to first sport, look. Man. When you think about from Larry Scott to Sergio Oliva to Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Frank Zane, you couldn't wait for their routines, right? And it's so memorable. I mean, Lila Brada, Jesus Christ, every single routine was tailored. Bob Paris, Mohammed Makavi, the Kevin Leveroni. I mean, even though, you see, with Kevin, you knew that he's just improvising. He doesn't have a routine. He just in whatever mood you can play any music, he's going to do a perfect routine like he did this million times. He has this in him. Keone looks to me also that this is what I did with Flex and Chris before. We would play whatever music, and now you have to pose. So I can put some stupid song that makes no sense, and they would pull it off. I think that you can pull off anything.
Yeah, that's what Flex did to me when I was coaching for the Arnold. Yeah, I was at his house here in Vegas in 2019. He would play all these random songs. If I messed up, he would make me redo it again. And this was after my last meal before I went to bed. Every single night leading up to the Arnold prep, he would just play random songs. He'd be like, "Oh, don't stop. You stop. All right, let's redo it again." That's what we did every single night. So So ever since then, I've never choreographed a routine. Every routine I've done was freestyle, and I always pick my opposing song the night before 2 nights before the show, every show.
Yeah. You know, there's a sequences of poses. I mean, I had this. I can put like these 5 poses back to back to back in any music, right? You know, so yeah, you go up, so with arms down, and then what is the best with arms down? So with arms down, you have like few good poses. You choose. Then one side it can be the biceps, it can be that, and then quarter turn, and then do the twisting back shots. But this goes in that direction, right? It makes sense. A lot of guys, which I see, even there's some guy on Instagram that is a phenomenal poser, but he does this constantly, like, sequence 4 or 5 poses, and then it goes from here to the here to the here to the here to. What are you doing? It's like just everything is a movement, and then boom, pause for a second, and now you turn all the way here to do this pose. Now you're turning all the way back, rewinding. So it's not about the movement. Yeah, if you can spice it up with the movement as least as possible to look dramatic, but if the whole thing is this, then what are you looking? As Branch Warren would say, now it's a dance contest. Now that's not what we want. We want a muscle.
Just do it makes sense. Like Dexter. Like Dexter always hits the same exact moves on most of all his posing routines. He always touch himself a lot before he hit that front double. Am I right? Am I wrong?
No, you're right. 100%.
He does that. He does the one pose. That's what I got that pose from. Was from Dexter Jackson. But I do it with the vacuum. So he does the same stuff, different sequence, but it's not too much. But it looks good. And he does it in most shows. He does it in different orders. But I know it's the same exact moves. And I think people should kind of start doing that. And just perfect that, and it'll change the game.
Just think of Dexter. How long does it take him to get to the center stage? Forever, right? But then as soon as he finishes, he runs out. Did you notice this?
Dude,
he goes as slow as a turtle, when he's coming in, and then runs out.
You should see him at the freaking, I think it was at Tampa Pro. This was before he got on the stage. He was walking down the stairs to get to the actual stage. I've never seen someone walk that slow down the stairs. I mean, I probably could have used the bathroom, came back. He was still walking.
You guys, so slow. Milos, I know you probably remember this. Yeah, I'm not sure if you were. When did you start watching bodybuilding? First off,
listen, here.
Good question. What it was 2018.
Oh, okay, so it's past that. But Gustavo Budell did a routine once, going through all the past Arnold Classic winners and mimicking their poses. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And then he got to the end of Dexter Jackson, and then he started walking really slow and flapping his arms like a bird, like this. And the whole crowd was dying laughing. Yeah, but I don't think
they were in direct competition. He was going against Dexter in that show, right?
Yeah.
So that's why. But yeah. That was beautiful. He would call Frank Zan do the Frank Zan pose. Arnold do the twisting back Arnold pose. I mean, that was good.
He has to send me that. I want to watch that.
So funny. And then Dexter Jackson, he had like a slow song like he always does, and then Gustavo's flapping his arms. The whole crowd was dying. But I heard rumors he got in trouble for that. Like,
possibly. I mean, I don't know why people. Come on. You know
It's
how many
funny.
times people complain about what I'm saying? Hey, it's a freedom of speech. I'm speaking my mind. I have no filters. I'm telling you I'm passionate about bodybuilding. Why would I, hold it back? I say what I mean. Here is now Keone. Keone is not my athlete, right? I love his physique. And everything now that I say about him, if he's my athlete, they say, oh, bias coach is pumping him up for the Olympia. I just had the best structure. Shut the lights. You're the best, right? That's the truth. I speak my mind. I tell the truth. So, Keone, yeah, for me, really, going into the show, you are the guy that if you bring 100% condition and you manage that presentation, right? You're a great poser, okay? So now that's something to think about, you and Patrick, right? And whoever is maybe working on your poses. You show that flare and V-taper always, yeah? Then muscle detail, right? If I'm hearing you correctly, the only thing that right now you didn't master it is your stomach. So this is, even after this show, I tell my guys, when you're in a chair on a desk or driving a car, now do what I told you. Glue it to the spine and hold it there, and hold it there, and feel this, close the gap, and hold it, close the gap and hold it. Then, how can I make the waist smaller? Chris Cormier is gonna show you those tricks. I'm gonna see Chris in a couple of hours. So when he does the ab shot, first is blow out and make the waist smaller, and then blow out to make a deep abs deeper. A lot of people would blow out and keep the waist out, just to make the abs deep. They don't pull in first and then blow it out, 1-2 punch. So when you drive the car, and Melvin Anthony was saying this, damn, Milos, still 20 years later, I'm going in the car and I always remember, glue your stomach to the spine. And he is driving like this. I say, yeah. So now, Chris, imagine Keone with the perfect abs. Perfect abs with that small silhouette.
It'd be ridiculous.
It shows over, right? So here is now, if I'm your competitor, I'm just going to hope that Keone is going to try to get a little bit too big and maybe, lose the midsection, and maybe it doesn't present that way. I was watching Kamal in the Masters Olympia. His presentation is flawless. That's like mastery. He has so many flaws in his physique that he doesn't let you see it. You don't see he has a really wider waist and smaller legs and, no V-taper and all this stuff. You don't see it. That's why if you're judging and then you really analyze, you can see those things. But he would hide that and you don't even see it. Right. So if you can present your stomach at all times perfectly, I'm going to tell you right now, you win the show.
Got that noted down.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, back to training questions. The two questions I have for training are: one, are there any movements that your girlfriend removed from your regimen, or did she just perfect the execution of what you were doing? That's one question. The other question is, how is the ab routine? Because let's be honest, midsection used to be something that they trained very frequently back in the 90s during Milos era. And then it felt like people got away from it completely. And then now people are emphasizing it again because, as Milos has described, like, your midsection is like, it's the core of the physique, right? It completes it. So have you done anything differently to core training, or maybe at one point did not core train or train your abs and now you are?
As far as core training, at first I was doing 5 days a week, then I stopped. The reason I honestly stopped, I kind of like felt like my abs were I didn't like the feeling during the week because they would be so fucking sore, and I'd be feeling like sometimes I feel so bloated, but I'm not. It's just my abs are so like inflamed and pumped from training them, so I kind of stopped, and I realized like I don't really think I really need to train abs as much as I think I do. So I need to start back doing it, but for Texas, I was doing it like 3 times a week versus every single day. And as far as like training movements that we took out, for instance, for back day, I used to do barbell rows a lot of free weight motion stuff, but we replaced a lot of that with like chest support rows or a lot of machine rows. Anything where my chest is supported on, where I'm like here and it's stable, that's pretty much where we switch a lot of movements out for. Like even for chest day, like I didn't do dumbbell press the whole entire prep. I did more so just a lot of incline presses with my back arch, you know. So yeah, as far as exercises, we did change a lot of my training up and take a lot of exercises out. But yeah, for core wise, yeah, just training about like 3 times a week. Now I haven't really trained at all this prep, but I'm probably may start back training them again. Not sure. I'm still question mark with my abs, to be honest with you, as far as core training wise.
I can give you my 2 cents on that one just to see my thinking.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't want to build it up because muscle, if you build the muscle, hypertrophy is going to be thicker. You know, the last thing you want is the thicker abs.
Right.
But everything that I was telling you so far, what I'm saying, you have to have a control of the movement. Like every muscle, you know how to move the chest and biceps, right, and all this shit. So now you have to have the same thing with the abs. Do you honestly feel, ooh, it's stretched? And now, stretch, contract. So I want that creating the gap in between abdominals, I can feel is wide, and now I can close it in. Feel, so you stretch, this is what you do. Oop, and this is one ab, this is second ab on top, right?
Okay.
It's basically just to feel that they separate.
Yeah.
And then if they separate during the exercise, okay, now you're at home and you can do the same thing. You can feel they're moving. So up and down and in and out, gluteus spine. What I was telling you, go in. So up and down is going to create deeper abs.
Right.
And you're standing relaxed. Okay, you like stretch position. I think that I like your front relaxed stretched. I like it. I didn't like it on Max Charles. I think that Max, when he flexes the abs, in the front relaxed, he looks fucking phenomenal, okay? And then, which was interesting, Kamal was doing exactly with the abs. And all this time that I know Max Charles, he would always do with the abs, but he changed it for this one. And I didn't like it. I still think that when you have a perfect abs, you always show them.
Right.
For you, if you manage to move the abs the way you want them, you can possibly do it with not just a vacuum, but you can do both.
Yeah.
As Chris now just said, connect wide shoulders, thick chest, crazy legs, all this stuff with a perfect midsection. That completes everything. Then, Jesus Christ, how can you possibly lose? If I'm a judge, where can I penalize you?
Hey,
right?
You can't. Yeah.
You can't. Yeah. So this is, as you are saying now, that maybe you're not training. When you train the abs, it's not really trained to build them, trained to control the movement. Train to feel that, okay, now I can manipulate with my abs. I can stretch them. I can squeeze them. I can glue it to the spine. There's many people, I told them, do the abs, and they don't create any depth. Like, what do you mean? Why? This blow out completely, glue it to the spine, and now if you have that control, stretch, squeeze, you can stretch, squeeze all day long.
So Keone, you've won 3 or how many pro 212 shows have you won?
4.
I was to say 4. And how many total pro shows have you done as a 212?
4 to qualify for the Olympia, and I did the Olympia 2 times in 212. So, this would be my 3rd one. I sat out one of them in 2020.
That's a pretty good odds.
Remember that?
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. I'm excited. Yeah. Maybe we'll go Olympia just because of you.
Come on, man, let's go. Nick gonna be there too.
That's true. Nick did ask me if I was going.
Yeah.
Nick's always about, you going over here? I'm like, no, I can't.
Chris, let me throw this at you. You're a bodybuilder. You're in this industry, right? So Olympia has to be seen. Really, you cannot even plan anything. I had so many things that I could do. No, you have to do it.
Don't watch it on live, man. Especially if they do that live. They did last year where the camera zoom in on their calves and butt, cheek, and chest. I'm like, just have the camera in front of the people, please.
It's like you don't need to be this close. You know, like you want to see a certain distance so you can see the shadows and see the whole physique. It's kind of like
views of the worst views ever.
It's kind of like when photographers take the picture up too close.
Yes.
You know, and you just like wash out all the cuts.
Yep.
It's like no, back a little bit back. Did you already? Are you already all booked, Milos, with your plane ticket and hotel?
Actually, I'm not, you know, but I'm going for sure. See, Jake Huntley is getting me good tickets.
I want to get good tickets. I don't want to get nosebleed tickets.
Yeah, but no, you know, good thing you reminded me. I don't even know it's a host hotel, but yeah, I better start booking now.
100%.
Shit's selling out fast.
Did you book already?
No. I'm going to get a Airbnb when I go I'm not doing the hotel stuff anymore after last year.
Yeah, same here. I don't like hotels anymore. Like I like Airbnb's the way to go.
And plus they charge you over dumb shit. I mean, I got charged almost $1,000 after I left Planet Hollywood. I still don't know where it came from, and they still never picked up my phone call when I tried to call them. So I was like, no more hotels. I'm doing Airbnbs from now on. It's less stressful.
They charge you $1,000 extra?
Almost a grand. About like $950
for what?
$9. I don't know. I mean, I know when I left the hotel room, I left like some tanning clothes in the corner or whatever, but that was it. But maybe because I had the like a pan in there when I was cooking my food. I know you can have that stuff in there. Maybe I had too much stuff I wasn't allowed to have in there, and I left in there. Maybe I don't know, but they charged me over something, so I was like, no more hotels for me.
And especially when you're competing, it's so much better to have a kitchen, like instead of like a makeshift kitchen in a hotel room. We've all been there before. That sucks. Yeah, it's better to have like refrigerator. It's just so much easier.
A lot easier.
And Airbnbs are cheaper. That's the other wild thing.
I really wish they had like a hotel for Olympia where we all have kitchens for the competitors. I mean, they're doing this so much for us now. I feel like just having a kitchen for us would be just so much convenient, you know. But I don't know how possible that is with all of us. But
well, it's NBC Suites has those are the extended stay places, and they're reasonably cheap. I've like $175 a night, and it's a kitchenette, living room. But I mean, you're working with still kind of a crappy stovetop, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not like a full house, which I still would prefer now that I've been staying at those.
Right.
Keone, did you do different sports before?
Yeah, I played football and I ran track. I was an athlete all my life, football in high school and track and field. So
track, like
not shocked.
100 dash or probably.
I did the 100, the 200, and the 4x1. And then football, I was running back and I played corner.
Do you know what was your 100 dash? Do you remember?
My fastest 100 when I went to state was a 10.8.
I was 13.
But that was still the slowest.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, 10.8. I was pretty fast, man. But I was so short. I was really short, and I was running against guys in state that was like 6 foot. So no matter how fast their stride just kicked my ass. I was the shortest guy in my heat. So, I mean, I was the fastest where I was from, but state was something serious, man.
So I have a question for everybody, and let's see what everybody says. Where in the United States right now would you guys consider the Mecca of bodybuilding?
Where we are.
Yeah, 100%.
Where we are, yes.
It's like this has happened in the last like 5 years. It's like
you see,
everybody I know has moved there.
You know, Keone, somebody talk about you. Yeah, at the Jake Hunter TV podcast. And then they said that you're in Vegas. I said, all this time I'm here, I didn't even know that Keone is in Vegas.
Yeah, I was in Vegas. I got here, I'll say around like maybe March. Yeah, in March. And
okay.
Yeah, so in my least, I moved peak week of Texas Pro. I was moving the whole entire week here. Wow. So so I'm officially here. All my stuff is here now. So yeah, I've been in Vegas for some time now, and I think it's a very great move so far for the career bodybuilder. It just sucks that when I moved here, they moved Olympia to Florida.
Yeah, it's gonna be back next year.
I know.
Because you were in Florida.
No, I was in Dallas. I was training at Destination.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. I was training with Nick. Nick was training me, He trained me for most of the whole 2021 Olympia prep. Nick was my trainer.
Yeah, dude, let me tell you something. The entire time when I was like trying to coordinate times with this, you're like, no, I'm Pacific time. I'm like, what? I thought he was in Texas. Maybe he was just visiting. Yeah, that's what threw me off. But
yeah, Regan changed it one normally, but then he changed today for 3. Right? So we could have actually done it later, but oh well.
He also changed the time for tomorrow too to 5.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah, 5 o'clock tomorrow. Okay. It's only 30 minutes. It's like I think an hour difference or 30-minute difference.
I have to put it in the calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't blame him. I put him on 0 carbs for a few days, and then when I saw him post this morning, like he needs a little bit more rest, and he's doing legs. Right? So say, okay.
Regan looks great, Milos. Good job. He looks amazing.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, of course, you're a shapely guy. We love his physique, right? And hashtag bodybuilding all the way, right? But he's super tough contest. You've seen who's entering, like Blessing yesterday on the podcast with Dennis James. He said, like, Milos, too bad, so sad. Like Regan has no chance, right? So he's ready. Then Nathan Diasha, then that Vito guy, Chris Acedo posted pictures yesterday. He's saying, like, oh my God.
Seems like everybody bringing their best, man. So I think that's what we want, right? So
deep lineup. Yeah. Tio, French guy. That's Vlad Sukurechko. I mean, Patrick has a guy competing. I forgot the name.
He does?
Yeah. I forgot the Dennis was talking about. Yeah, so you competed, you won 4 shows so far. Did you ever think of doing open too, just for fun?
That's the goal one of these days. Just one of these days. I just want to win that title first before I even think about jumping to an open show, if I'm being honest.
Cut more pounds too.
Yeah, I will feel more complete and more just, I guess, at ease for that moment to, do an open show once, they say in the new. So until that happens, then I'll consider doing an open show later on in my career. But for sure, though, I definitely see myself doing an open show for fun and to see how I stack up.
Well, I hope you're going to dig deep for the Olympia. I mean, that's it. You really have to go where you've never been before, kind of, right? So we were saying you don't know how far your body can go. When you start getting leaner, right? And I said, this is leanest I've ever been. Oh, that's beautiful. Well, guess what? If you continue, you're going to get even leaner. You're gonna come to that rib to the bone, kind of things, which everybody appreciates. With this kind of shape, you just have to be completely ripped.
Yeah, I feel like we're in a good state. I mean, I compete at 203. I'm 213. Me and Patrick just started the actual push now, so now we're time to really lock it in, and everything's still there. I've never really actually done like a really good rebound. So this is my first time actually doing it and be able to still see everything. Like my glutes are still in, my hams are still in. So I'm pretty excited to see what can we do between now and then. So I'm very confident this is going to be the best version of myself. So I'm really happy, and I'm ready to go in that place. When I'm in that gym, man, I think about, Tyler told me, he said, every single rep you do, just picture yourself, just picking up that fucking trophy and hearing in the new. And that's what I think about every time I'm in the gym when I'm doing my cardio. I just think about that. I envision every single thing. I think about my posing. I think about the routine I'm going to do, how I'm going to hit my transitions. That's all I think about when I'm in the gym, training and cardio. So mindset is just, I'm just ready. I'm just ready. Every single day I wake up, I'm excited just to do cardio and just do it all over again. Eat the same boring meals again. Hell, so it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
I love it when genetics combined with hard work, combined with the right mindset. I love it. That ship is sailing in uncharted territory. I love it.
Yeah,
great.
I think once you get in that point of your career, for anyone that's competing, you're unstoppable. I didn't always have this mindset leading up, competing. But now that lots of things changed and I have a really great circle, I tell people you got to make sure you have a great freaking team. If you don't have no team behind you, it's going to be hard. It's a hard sport. It's just hard to get through preps like this. So I have that. So I can't fail. My team won't let me fail.
You train in the elevation gym?
I was training elevation the whole Texas prep, but me and my girl now, we're training at Dragon's Lair now. So we just kind of just switched up different environments. I can't train in one gym the whole entire year. At each prep, I have to be in another environment.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many gyms here that you can, sometimes I had my own gym back in Fullerton back in the day, but I would get out and take guys in a different gym, for different body part, just to change the machines and everything. Is good. Yeah, you've been to Torture Gym at all?
No, everybody asks me, has I been to Torture? We're going to try it out. We haven't tried it yet.
Too. Yeah. I haven't trained since my car accident, so I didn't go to the new Dragon's Lair to try the new machines that he has. So as soon as I start training, I'm going to, check it out. He had
Dragons?
Yeah, Dragons has
the whole new leg room.
Months ago, he didn't have a expanded like it is now.
Yeah, it's all legs. It's a dungeon filler. It's pretty dope.
Good.
Awesome. Keone, man, I really appreciate you coming on. I know we were playing tag for a little bit there, but of course you were getting ready for Texas Pro, so I totally get it and understand. How can people reach you on Instagram? And definitely mention your wife and her training again. I'm sure people want to hear that. I know I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, for sure. If you guys need, if you guys follow me at Keone Prodigy on Instagram, my girlfriend, Hopper Rican on Instagram, or you could just go on my Instagram. You see tons of pictures of us. Just click the tag and give her a follow. And if you need help with training, as far as programming, hit her up. If you need help with posing myself, all you got to do is shoot me a DM. And that's how you get to reach out to us.
Perfect. My man, I really appreciate it, dude.
Thank you, bro.
Been awesome. And we would definitely like to have you on again, man. And maybe down the road, we get a little closer to Olympia, see how you're doing.
Yeah. I was going to say, maybe we get like a 3 weeks out or a 5 week out update or whatever. You just let me know. Or same thing for you, Milos. If you got something going on podcast, if you're thinking about me, I'd love to get on. I like to get on these podcasts. These are pretty cool. Like, it's almost time to eat. So you guys just killed the whole hour for me to eat. So I like stuff like this. It helps a lot in prep. Believe it or not, it does.
All right.
Yeah, I'm always down for podcasts. So let me know, man.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's important, man. Like I like get to know more people and more people's personality. And like, there's no other way to do that unless you have a conversation with multiple people. Right. And it's kind of free floating. It's not like a straight interview. You get a vibe for that person. That's the only way to do it.
So it's happening right in front of us. Yeah. Listen, Keone, I'm a big fan of yours, and I hope you're going to really reach your full potential. Since the first time I lay eye on you, it's like this guy, Flex Wheeler's prodigy, he can really be that. So you're this close, make it happen.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me, and see you guys soon.
If you enjoyed this podcast, check out the recommended clips here.